There can be only one podcast and maybe the Prince of the Universe. Hi folks, I'm Matt, and we are talking MCU one final time here, MCU TV shows. I was able to finish Cloak and Dagger. And then of course another little mini-series, I Am Groot, Season 2, didn't even know existed. And then I will be ranking all of my MCU TV shows here, now that I've seen them all, or the ones that were in the MCU universe. We are on Cloak and Dagger, the last one in the series. I'll just go through what I liked, what I didn't like altogether. First off, what they got right was the entrance. The intro, it'll be playing music or having a scene, then suddenly everything will go quiet and it'll show Cloak and Dagger. So the cloak appears and then the dagger appears. And that's it. It's like 5 seconds. Good. Short intro. And then they get with the talking. That's excellent. Much better than Runaways, which has like a minute 20 seconds intro with music. So does Jessica Jones. It goes on forever because they want to stretch these out as far as they can, but they don't have enough storyline. But for some unheard reason, they have to go 52 minutes an episode. So they just make these long opening credits to kill some time. Cloak and Dagger has 42 minute episodes, so it's 10 minutes shorter, which is great. It really could have been if they would have shaved off 20 more minutes and made like a 22, 24 minute show, this would have been one of the better shows in the MCU. Of course, they have a lot of dialogue where they're just sitting there talking in a room, just deposition that goes nowhere. And for that reason, it does slow down a little bit. They always have to do that. On the flip side, though, the special effects were good. Whenever Cloak transports, he poofs and has a little bit of smoke around him. I thought that was really neat. It's a cheap special effect that they could do. Dagger, her daggers and her glow bombs and whatever she did, cheap special effects. But they got the job done and they were fine. I enjoyed them. So the action scenes were not bad. They were perfect. I like that. Cloak, as an actor, is awful. I don't even know why they even cast this kid. He has one face. He has one mode. He goes, I'm angry. I'm so angry right now. You're not angry. You don't seem angry. And he goes, I'm always scared. But the secret is, I've never been more scared than I am now. And he delivers it deadpan. He delivers everything deadpan. But Tandy, who is the dagger, Tandy, I am happy when I'm with you. Oh my goodness. No feeling in his voice whatsoever. I mean, the dude shows no emotion. If he was maybe Spock, I'd get it. But he's not a Vulcan. The kid just doesn't have the acting job. When he gets mad at a policeman, he says this. You should be protecting me, not hurting us. You should be protecting and serving. Don't you even care? Do you care about the line you're delivering? Cloak is one of the worst Marvel actors I've seen. How he got this, he must have known the producer or director's son or something. I don't know, but it's not good. It's not good. The other thing, on the reverse side, Dagger, Tandy, she was good. She was interesting. She had an interesting character, and that was fun to watch. So I did enjoy her. Other than that, they followed this cop girl, which is interesting for a little while because she's having a relationship. Then they fridge him. Honestly, that is exactly what they do. They killed him and put him in the refrigerator. It's called fridging from the Kyle whatever, the Green Lantern comic book. Kyle Rayner. I was reading the comic book when that happened, when he found his girl dead in the fridge. Now they call it fridging because of that. I just thought that was kind of wild that they killed his girlfriend like that. But they killed it just for effect. And that's what they did for the boyfriend. And then her story kind of just comes off the rails. It takes place in New Orleans, which maybe they were still filming credits back then. But voodoo is put in a good light, like witches are now good witches now. You have a lot of good witches and bad witches, but mainly good witches. They tell the story to break the mold. Everyone thinks a witch is bad, but they're actually pretty good. Well, now they do the same thing with voodoo. Voodoo isn't evil witch doctors. It's love. It's life. It's earth, Mother Earth. It's, gag me with a fork, spoon, and knife. I have heard all of these before. Okay, all right, you want to say voodoo's good. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Voodoo is a religion. It's a cult. It's everything. But she contradicts herself. She says, you can have other religions. Voodoo is something that tags along with that religion. But yet, they have their own view of death. I'm sorry, that doesn't tag along with other people's views of the afterlife. In fact, what's really bad is Cloak dies in one episode, and Tandy, Dagger, has to go to the other world. But it's a voodoo death doctor. Wait a minute. So voodoo is the main religion? Voodoo is where everyone goes to die, to this voodoo doctor, Papa Django or whatever his name is? What? What? And the thing is, if you say, well, you go to the afterlife of whatever god you worship. Maybe they made up some ridiculous thing like that. Cloak wasn't even, the Cloak, I can't remember his name right now. He was not even a believer in voodoo. His girlfriend is. So why does he go to the voodoo afterlife? That none of this made sense. None of it made sense. And so, again, we have bad storytelling. But at the same time, we had some decent storytelling. I will be honest. When I saw the first episode of Cloak and Dagger, I was floored. I thought that was excellent. I thought it was some good stuff I was watching. I was like, wow, this is a really good episode. That's when I said to myself, like, wow, this is really good. I'm shocked it's this good. And, of course, give it a minute. It'll get worse as time goes on. But they do have some good episodes here and there. Another one that I really enjoyed. Tandy is, her dad seems to be the loving one who dies in a car wreck at the opening. Again, spoilers. But she misses her dad. They go to visit a crazy guy he's in a catatonic state. And Dagger can bring out the hopes of people, and Cloak can bring out the fears of people. But I don't know how they can get inside people's heads, but they can. And their ability together, they're like the Wonder Twins. When they touch, and that's another cute thing. She says, waffles or pancakes? He went, what do you mean? How are we going to hold hands? Waffles interlace the fingers. Pancakes just hand on hand. He goes, waffles. And it's a joke that I guess they thought that was so witty that they used it again at the end of the series. It's a nice line, but I don't know if it's like poetic enough to tie up the series with. But anyway, they go into the mind of this guy in a catatonic state. He's been catatonic since a near-death experience he had at the factory that Tandy's dad used to work at prior to his death. And the factory blew up the night the dad died. And so she's trying to figure out what happened that night. And through the mind of this catatonic guy, she can hopefully find that out. Well, they find out the guy's been living the same 3 minutes of the end of his, known life. Like he's working in the factory, the alarms go off, and then 3 minutes later, he's dead. And he knows this, but he's been living the same. He's been in a catatonic state for so long. He's been living this life that he thinks that's his life now. He's forgotten everything else about his life, just that, oh, red alert, we're going to die in 3 minutes. And he's always watching this baseball game that never ends. And that's kind of funny too. He's like, hey guys, come on. Points are scoreless, but it's now 637 to 400, 600 to 36. The Red Sox are catching up, and everything just kind of, he feels like that's his world because he's been in there so long. So it's kind of explained what goes on, what could be going on in a person in a catatonic, that's, they're alert, they're just not cognitive. And so what's going on inside his mind? Well, right before the factory explodes, he gets a call. And Tandy finds out that the call is from her dad because that night she was in the car, the night of the wreck, he got on the phone with someone, and that was who he was calling. So when Tandy answers it, it's her dad. And she just wants to talk to her dad. She's like, Daddy? He went, hey, Tandy, how's it going? He was like, Daddy, is it really you? He went, yeah, honey, how are you? And so they start talking. She gets to talk to her dad. Well, now she wants to stay in the mind of a catatonic person. But the longer they stay, they could lose themselves too. Because the 3 minutes keep resetting. So Cloak and Dagger agree to let go of the man's hand at the same time and, get out of his head. Unfortunately, Dagger lied to Cloak, and Cloak disengages. But Dagger is still in that catatonic state with the patient. So Cloak has to go in. Only 30 seconds has passed for him. But in her world, in that catatonic state, she has lived through that at least over 200 times, she says. And now she's starting to forget who she is. All she wants to do is have that 1 minute conversation with her dad every 3 minutes because she misses the sound of her dad's voice. But then Cloak tells her, hey, say something that ask him a question that only your dad would know because that's not your dad. That's just an image, a memory of your dad from this guy who's insane. And so then she does, and she realizes it's not a real dad, and they leave the guy, but they bring the guy out of his catatonic state. It's a really good episode. It's a really good episode. Like, there's some solid stuff here and there. There's some solid times. I thought, oh, wow, this is good. I think they brought in one of their villains. I don't know Cloak and Dagger, the comic book, that well, but I think they brought in one of their recurring villains in their comic book. They just never gave him a super name. Also, again, no super suits. In fact, Cloak wears a cloak maybe 2 out of the 10 episodes in the first season, and maybe 2 out of the... He doesn't wear the cloak for that long, but he should. But you can't even dress him up in a cloak? No, he'll wear a hoodie, and the hoodie will be his cloak. No, just make it the cloak. Why can't it just be the cloak? Why can't they just have... Now, of course, in the comic book, Dagger's costume is kind of risque. So I understand why they wouldn't want to put her in her costume. But they could change it up. But they should have costumes. In fact, the whole first season, they're talking about what is a hero. This teacher's talking about what is a hero? What is a villain? What makes a hero and a villain a villain? You know. And the thing is, they don't once mention the Avengers who are alive and well during this time in the MCU. Why can't they do... Even the Netflix series mentioned Captain America and some of the Avengers and stuff. But why don't the freeform TV shows like Runaways and if they're in the MCU, why don't they mention that? Why don't they? In fact, again, in my mind, I rewrote the perfect season 2 for Cloak and Dagger. Once they find their abilities, which is what the whole season 1's about, they find themselves and they find each other, then they decide they're going to be superheroes. But during their first outing, and I checked the dates, is when the Infinity War happens and Thanos snaps everyone. So Cloak has been taking 1 or 2 people inside of his cloak, and they don't know where they go. In season 2, they find out because they go to the inner world that's inside Cloak, the Cloak world, I'll just say for now. But what if instead that the Infinity Wars happen, Thanos snaps, and Dagger starts to come to pieces, go to dust. And she looks at him and goes, "What's going on, Tyrone?" Who's Cloak. And what Cloak will do is take her quickly to save her inside of his cloak. And they both go inside of her. And he takes her to another dimension where she exists outside of time and space so that Thanos' snap doesn't hurt her. And so then they spend the next not the whole season, but the next few episodes grabbing all the people or encountering all the people that Cloak has devoured in the past and kind of resolve their storylines and then find a way outside of his cloak because he doesn't know how to get out now that he's in. And so when they get out, of course, it's been years. We have to jump kick to now when everyone's been restored back to the regular timeline. And then you can have a new character taking over New Orleans since they've been gone, and now they're going to stop him. Maybe it was this villain who they encountered at the very beginning of the season was nobody, but then turned into somebody. And we have an episode where it's like an origin. What's been going on the past 3 years or so when everyone was Thanos snapped? What was he doing to get ahead in New Orleans, to be the big bad for the season finale? And they dress up as superheroes since there's all this talk about what is a hero. And they even talk about let's be superheroes. Well, yeah. So dress up as a superhero and do it. And I really wish that would have been the second season. I think it would have been awesome. It would have been great. Again, Cloak and Dagger, better than Runaways, just because Runaways had 1 really good season and 2 pathetic seasons that floundered along. Cloak and Dagger stumbled here and there, had its misses, but had its hits too. There's a few episodes I was truly interested in. And then others I was like, that's kind of dumb. There's a few dumb moments. Cloak and Dagger, the Runaways never team up with Cloak and Dagger. I thought that may happen since they went over to Runaways Season 3, which was happening the same time as Cloak and Dagger Season 2. By the way, that cameo must have happened after Season 2, and I think release date-wise, it probably is what happened. And maybe they hinted at another crossover if Cloak and Dagger, sorry, not Moon Knight, what the heck? If Cloak and Dagger was going to get a Season 3, the Runaways probably would have made a guest star appearance on it. Either way, what do I think about the freeform Marvel shows? Missed opportunities on both sides. Missed opportunities on both sides, no doubt. What is not a missed opportunity is I Am Groot. I Am Groot is one of the finest MCU TV shows out there. It's about little baby Groot during Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's a bunch of shorts. They're about 3 minutes long and about 6 episodes per season. So it takes you 18 minutes. It'll take you 36 minutes to watch the whole thing. it's well worth it. I've watched it twice. The only MCU show I've watched twice. Me and my nephew and his friend, just earlier this week, we watched Smile 2. Smile 2 is a piece of garbage with one good scene. One good scene, and the rest of it is garbage. Utter garbage. So, not a big fan of Smile Dus. However, when we were watching it, we were laughing because it's so bad. They drink Voss water all through the show. Obviously, it was sponsored by Voss, and big time too, because they are drinking Voss just about every 10 minutes. It's like in the contract, if not sooner, someone has to be drinking a Voss water. And there's Voss water everywhere. In fact, there is no tap water in this universe. On Smile, in the world of Smile, only Voss water exists. So obviously, one of the producers owned Voss and wanted to make it cool again, I guess. So put in a horror movie where the protagonist who is dying is drinking Voss. Yeah, good job. But anyway, it was so bad that my nephew goes, is there any short film that we can watch that can make up for this? And I went, there's an episode of I Am Groot that I think is hilarious. So I showed him it, and we all laughed. It's the one where he sees this population of little bitty creatures and accidentally steps on them, killing them all. But of course, they can't show Groot killing people, so after the credits, that shows them popping back out of the sand, that they were okay. I wish him stepping in the hole and smushing them all was hilarious. But we watched that, we got a good laugh, and then I went to turn it off, and I found that there was a season 2 that came out last year. Didn't even know there was a season 2. Never saw any of them, watched them. Season 2, I Am Groot, excellent. I Am Groot, excellent. It made me laugh every time. Every episode was me giggling a little bit. I loved the episodes. Rocket Raccoon is in one episode. His voice is in another. The rest of the crew, they're either on the ship somewhere or on a planet having an adventure while Groot is having a misadventure. And I love that. I don't need any of the Guardians of the Galaxy there, just Groot. And at the last episode is the first, from what I understand, live action appearance of a Watcher. A Watcher is telling a tale of the legend of Groot, when Groot will make peace throughout all the world. But it turns out that the Watcher skimmed through the prophecy, and it didn't technically mean any of that. And we saw Groot just waste the prophesied seed of the universe and let it burn in lava without saving it. He saved the little bouncy ball he was playing with instead, because he's like a little kid. That's hilarious. And you think he can see the Watcher. He goes, why does he keep waving at me? He can't see me, can he? But he keeps waving at him. Either way, it's funny. It's a great thing. I Am Groot, hilarious. Got a second season that came out last year. Excellent stuff. Now, folks, I am finally able to rank all live action MCU shows. I'm not going to do What If or Hit Monkey. Bruce really loves Hit Monkey. He wants me to watch Hit Monkey. I may watch in the future. But adding up the live action MCU TV shows and specials, there were 25 of them to my count. And I'm going to rank all 25. And I did this backwards, folks, because ranking the worst ones was so much easier than ranking the best ones. Even though I kind of knew what my 1, 2, and 3 would be. I kind of knew my top 5, I think. So anyway, you already know Beyond Horrible is Jessica Jones. That is last place. Agony All Along is right in front of that one, barely at 24, because of the runtime is lower and the episode count's lower. That's really the only reason it beat out Jessica Jones. Behind that is Secret Invasion. What a waste of time. Samuel Jackson delivers one and only one funny line throughout. It's about him sitting in an uncomfortable chair while waiting for someone. And that was the only time I laughed and the only time I enjoyed Secret Invasion. What garbage. Number 22, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had some funny moments here and there, but for the most part, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. Something that should have just gone 2 seasons and quit. Went an incredible 7 seasons and wasted my time in so many ways. The show I quit twice and then had to sludge through the rest of it because I didn't want to keep watching Agony All Along. Even though I did break away during the seasons and watch another minute or 2 of Agatha All Along before going back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., very pathetic. Barely above that is Inhumans. Matt, what? Inhumans sucked. It did indeed. It had a few good scenes. The first episode is pretty good. The villain is okay. And Black Bolt is incredible. He's incredible in the series. I don't think there's anyone like that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Even Agent Coulson, after a while, gets old. You just don't care about him anymore. He's not special anymore. But, I mean, Black Bolt, really solid. Plus, again, Inhumans wins because it has less episodes than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans had the same amount of episodes, I'd switch those. Number 20 is Luke Cage. Luke Cage I love the actor. He just didn't have enough to do. His series fell short. And I felt bad for him because I thought the actor was great. I like Luke Cage as the character, but his show sucked. Echo is number 19. Echo only beats Luke Cage because Echo had a guest star appearance of Kingpin. And whenever you put the excellent actor known as Kingpin in your show, it gives you some credit. But other than that, Echo is trash. But Echo had a Kingpin. Luke Cage just had Luke Cage. Which, Luke Cage, I love you, buddy, but you're nothing compared to Kingpin. I really just said, who would I rather see, Kingpin or Luke Cage? And so, therefore, Echo got ranked over Luke Cage. Even though Echo herself is a horrible actress, Luke Cage is leaps better. But unfortunately, Kingpin is who I like better. Kingpin gets number 19. But I'm still digging through garbage here. 18 is She-Hulk. She-Hulk, at least... She was so annoying. She's such an annoying protagonist. Probably the worst and probably the most oh man, no, Jessica Jones is. Agatha is. No, even Agatha beats her out. But She-Hulk is the second most aggravating one. Jessica Jones being number one, She-Hulk being number two as most aggravating star in a TV show. But Tim Roth, excellent as Abomination, fantastic as Abomination, and guest star appearances by Daredevil and in the yellow costume, yes. Because of those scenes, you win. You beat out the few scenes of Kingpin, just barely, in Echo, so She-Hulk wins, barely because of that. Runaways gets number 17 because they had a great first season and then garbage the rest of the season. Morgan Le Fay was really good, but they didn't have anything to do with them, and the writing got, super, super dumb. So Runaways, you're at 17. 16 is Moon Knight. Ethan Hawke, I think, played the villain, which was pretty good. The story kind of sucked, but Moonlight looked awesome, and the fight scenes were good with Moon Knight especially. Moonlight looked great. Moon Knight, yeah. And so, because of that, I figured that it beats out Runaways. It was a close call between that, but, the super suit won it out, I guess, because Moon Knight really delivered on a superhero costume. Number 15, though, Cloak and Dagger. Like I said, Cloak and Dagger had some good episodes, whereas Moon Knight just couldn't get it together. Cloak and Dagger, I believe, did have its moments above Moon Knight. I really struggled. I could flip these two at any moment, but I feel Cloak and Dagger, maybe I'll do it right now. Cloak and Dagger, number 16, Moon Knight, number 15, because Moon Knight at least had a superhero costume. There you go. Switched it last minute. Number 14, I'm shocked, because it's still not good. They're still not good, but Agent Carter. If you would have told me that Agent Carter would have been in the upper edge, I would have laughed at you. But 2 seasons, short. I love the 50s. I love the look of it. Besides how men are portrayed as baffling, bumbling idiots the whole time, like really cartoonish idiots. Other than that, it's fine. I don't mind Peggy Carter. I don't mind the supporting cast. It just, again, wasted potential. Nice cinematography, nice shots. But Agent Carter didn't really go anywhere for me. After that, number 13, Miss Marvel. Now, Miss Marvel had 2 good episodes at the very beginning. And she's a fun character. I like Miss Marvel. In fact, the movie The Marvels, I liked the Marvels had 2 things going for it. A, Miss Marvel, fantastic character. B, The Singing Planet, fantastic scene. Other than that, Marvel sucked. But Miss Marvel, again, they had nothing to do for the rest of her last 6 episodes were garbage. They did give her a superhero outfit, so A+ for that. But the first 2 episodes were fun. And I thought that was what it was going to be, was a fun TV show, but it turned out to be utter garbage. 12 is Defenders. Oh man, Defenders had 2 good episodes at the end and had more stars I liked than Miss Marvel. Meaning Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. But Defenders overall, big waste of talent. Number 11, we're still not in the good one here, but Guardians of the Galaxy, the Christmas special, It's okay. Kevin Bacon's funny. I felt landing on Drax and Manta really wasn't that fun. It was okay. It was just okay. Wasn't bad. Wasn't excellent. So that means number 10, and I am floored that I am saying this, but Falcon Winter Soldier, which I thought was the worst for years. Nope. They've done worse than Falcon Winter Soldier. But when you look at the first 4 episodes of Falcon Winter Soldier, excellent. U.S. Agent, his story arc, loved it. I like Baron Zemo in like 2 or 3 episodes. He was excellent. But those last 2 episodes are so horrendously bad that it doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. If you shave off those last 2 episodes, this gets bumped up a few notches, at least 2 or 3 notches for being good. But right now it's number 10. Number 9, Marvel one-shots. There's a bunch of them on Disney Plus, but Marvel one-shots, some of them boring, some of them are like scenes in between movies that kind of connect things together, and some are just outright hilarious. The Mandarin, all the Thor 3 Ragnarok ones are really good. So some of them are really definitely worth watching. Some are skippable, but overall, they're short, which gave them the bonus, and they moved it to number 9. Number 8, Werewolf by Night. Shocked at how good that was. Really enjoyed Werewolf by Night. Love the appearance of Man-Thing at the end. Werewolf by Night, fun. I was hoping they'd do another one next Halloween season, but they didn't. Bruce was hoping they'd do a Dracula, because Dracula was big in Marvel comic books for a while. Was one of their top-selling comic books. That would be kind of fun to see Marvel's Dracula. However, either way, Werewolf by Night, very fun. Number 7, show that everyone disagrees with me with, but screw the haters. Iron Fist was excellent. It was really good. Season 1 better than Season 2, but Iron Fist, fantastic. Solid number 7. That's a good score for Iron Fist. I wish I could take it higher, but in all honesty, there were 6 shows that were better. That would be The Punisher. The Punisher Season 1 is unbelievably good. The actor, very good. Everything about Punisher, excellent. I had problems on whether this should be number 5, but number 5 is Daredevil, and I do like Daredevil better. The Kingpin especially pushes Daredevil. Without Kingpin, Daredevil stays in the top 10, but falls all the way down to 10, maybe, without Kingpin. Or maybe 9. I don't know. But it definitely falls at the top 5 without Kingpin. Kingpin puts the thing together. Even though I like Matt Murdock, I like Foggy, I like the supporting cast, Kingpin is what sold the show. I do not like Elektra. I thought she was dumb. Number 4 is Hawkeye. Good. Again, a Kingpin appearance, but Hawkeye was really fun. It connected most to the movies more than anything else has before. And the actor, Jeremy Renner, is a great Hawkeye. So that got 4. I Am Groot is 3. I don't, no tape backsies on that. Solid, locked in, 36 minutes is super fun, and the world is never ending. None of the episodes really matter in the overall scheme of things, and I love that because it doesn't have to matter. By the way, Hawkeye, the Broadway musical of Avengers scenes, I gotta be honest, some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. That was really good. And that was also the last TV show my wife watched with me. She's done with the MCU now. Number 2 is Loki. I always knew it was going to be number 2. Season 1 is excellent. Season 2 got off to a bad start, but finished strong, I felt. And Loki is very good. In fact, I wrestled for the longest whether it beat my number 1, which was WandaVision. But no, it stays second. WandaVision is still number 1. I was shocked. Again, the story goes, my wife made me watch it. I did not want to watch it, and then ended up loving it. Loving it. And wonder of wonders that Agony All Along, its spinoff, is second to last on the list. Maybe it would have been more poetic to put Agatha All Along 25th and WandaVision number 1, because WandaVision, it was solid. Solid storytelling. It merges into Doctor Strange 2, like really big, which I was kind of shocked about. They've never connected a TV show more closer to a movie than WandaVision. But those are my MCU TV shows ranked. Folks, let me know. First off, have you seen I Am Groot? Do you love it as much as I do? Also, what did you think about Cloak and Dagger? Have you seen it? What were your thoughts on it? And then, give me your top 5 Marvel shows, or if you want to do bottom 5, or both. You can do both, bottom and top 5. You don't have to list them all for me. You don't have to, unless you want to. I'll look at it. It's going to be a lot of words in the comments, but if you want to just give your top 5 best or top 5 worst, or what you thought of Cloak and Dagger, or what you thought of I Am Groot, or let you know in general. But I'm done talking about MCU shows for now, I believe. So I will see you next time on Princes of the Universe. I am Groot.